Testing. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's take a look at random values now, okay? Random, you can do a lot of really cool stuff with random as you dig deeper into processing, and you're going to see this pop up all the time. So let's go ahead and, well, let's do our basic setup again. Okay, literally our basic setup. All right, so that's our setup block, and I'm going to go ahead and just do the draw block right now as well, okay? Whoops. And make sure and open and close those curly braces there. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the size of our window 400 pixels by 400 pixels. Okay, easy enough. And let's do the background in setup and just make it black. Okay, just like that. So let's go ahead and run our sketch. Okay, so everything's working. So in the draw block, let's go ahead and draw an ellipse. So we're going to draw an ellipse, and it's going to be 200 and 200. And let's see, and then we'll make it 80 by 80 pixels in size. Okay, so again, x coordinate, y coordinate, width and height. Okay, so, well, let's run the sketch. There we go. Look at that. Easy program. So what we want to do is we're going to randomize. First, let's randomize the colors. And then after that, we'll randomize the position. And, we'll randomize the alpha channel too. Okay, so let's go ahead and dig in here. So the first thing we need to do is add a fill, and let's make the fill right now something like red. So just 255, 0, and 0. And again, if you're not familiar, check our tutorial on RGB. But just know for now that when you have three values in here representing color, it's red, green, and blue, RGB. And if we throw a fourth one in there, that's opacity. We'll get there. Okay, let's run the sketch. Okay, red circle, easy enough. So let's go ahead and randomize that red value, just like this. Look how easy this is, okay? Randomized value, just like that. And let's run the sketch. Okay, so it looks like it's flashing. Let's talk about what you're seeing right here. First off, you are not seeing one flashing circle. Okay, that's probably counterintuitive. What you're seeing is a series of ellipses of different values of red, okay? Being drawn on top of each other over and over and over, every frame on top of each other. Okay, I know that when you're looking at it, it looks like one single flashing circle, but I think being able to internalize the fact that that's not one flashing circle, but it is a series of circles being drawn over and over and over again. And why are they flashing? They're flashing because we are giving a random value right here between 0 and 255. Why 0 and 255? Because when you set up random like this, by default, if there's one value in the parentheses, it'll give you a random value between 0 and 255. Okay? It's the same exact thing as going like this. Okay? 0 to 255. If we stop the sketch and run the sketch again, see, it looks exactly the same. Okay? It's the same thing. It's just by default, it's expecting that if you have one value in here, it's going to be from the range of 0 to 255. If I put 100 in here, now it's a random value between 100 and 255. Note this is all still just for red, okay? We still have our green and we still have our blue at 0, okay? And so let's go ahead and run the sketch. Okay, hopefully that shows up on your end in the video, but the flashing is much more subtle right now, okay? And if I make this, 200, you'll barely be able to notice it. Okay, you can barely notice it because it's giving you a random value between 200 and full red. All right, so let's go ahead and change that back to 0 to 255, flashing circle. All right, now let's go ahead and, well, let's randomize another value. Okay, so I'm going to stop that because it's flashing. All right, and so random 255 again. Now, notice I have to put a second parentheses there because this one requires an open and closing parentheses, as does, check this out. If you go next to it, see how that one highlighted right there? Yeah, it's a nice thing to do is just, you can highlight or just put your cursor next to the parentheses and these curly braces here too, and it will show up, see that? It'll show you what's opening and closing. All right, so just note that actually tends to catch a lot of people there is because they'll try and do this and think that works. And let's go ahead and press play. See, that does not work. All right, and it'll actually tell you what the problem is. And so let's go ahead and put that back. All right, and let's run the sketch. All right, so we have 0 to full red and 0 to full blue. And of course, if we mix those, we get magenta. And so we're getting a range of kind of flashing purples right here. Okay, so just like that. Now, let's talk about what I said earlier about how this is not one flashing circle. It is actually a series of flashing ellipses on top of each other, one after another, frame by frame by frame by frame. Okay, and let's go ahead and, well, let's actually check that out. So what I want to do is randomize the position coordinates, okay? And we'll just do the X first, okay? So let's go ahead and randomize that, okay? Just like that, okay? Now, what's going to happen here? Well, let's talk about it. Okay, so we, this is along the X, right? And so we are getting, the coordinates are 200 on the Y, but between 0 and 200 on the X, okay? And remember, this is X, and this is Y, okay? And then, of course, it's going to be 80 by 80 in size still. So let's go ahead and run the sketch. Okay, there we go. So here's 200 pixels in, right? And so it's 200 pixels down along the Y, but then it's between 0 and 200 pixels in on the X, and it's drawing them over and over and over and over. And now you can see how it's actually a whole bunch of ellipses being drawn, each one being drawn with a different value in color between 0 and 255 in red and 0 and 255 in blue. Okay? So let's go ahead and, well, now this is a 400 pixel by 400 pixel window. So if we randomize this by 400, it's going to go all the way across our sketch window. See that? Okay, and as you may have guessed, if we do the same thing to the Y, random Y, like so, we're going to be also creating random ellipses in positions along the Y-axis, up to 200. See? All right, so let's go ahead and make this up to 400, and we'll cover the entire sketch window with flashing ellipses. There we go. Okay, so we have another... let's see, what can we do? Oh yes, right in here, we can actually add a value for our opacity channel. So let's go ahead and do one that's static, okay? It's 100, not randomized at all. Whoops, 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 whoops. Okay, thank you, processing. You gotta have that comma in there, right? Okay, if not, it won't separate them. Okay, and let's go ahead and run the sketch. Okay, so there we go. And now our circles are partially transparent. Okay, so let's mess around with that a little bit. We'll make this 20. Barely see those things. And you wait a while, and then this colors slowly start to fill up there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put that back at 100 for now. Okay, that looks nice. What we can do is let's randomize it. Okay, so random. Okay, and let's not make them... Let's see here. Let's go ahead and have it be from 50 to 200. Okay. And then again, we have to have that last closing parentheses right there. And if there's no errors, this will run. Okay, there we go. All right. So now we have randomized the color. We have randomized the alpha channel, the transparency. And we have randomized the XY coordinates of the ellipses. We can also randomize the size. So let's just randomize one side, okay? Random, and we'll just do from 0 to 80 first, okay? And remember, just doing it like this is the same as doing it like that. We're just going to do it like this, okay? Let me spread this out a little bit. Okay, so we're going to randomize, well, let's just press play here. Okay, so, what we're getting is the width of it, right, is between 0 and 80. So we're getting some that are kind of skinny and some that are full circles, all right? Let's go ahead and change this to 200. Okay, so now we're getting, you know, all different shapes here. We can also randomize the height, okay, like so. And we'll make that 200 as well. Okay, and we'll run the sketch. Whoops. See, I just was warning you about that. It's easy to do. All right. Okay, and there we go. So we have random size, random position, random color, and random opacity, all happening just with these few little lines of code here. So random is a really neat thing. When you're getting deeper into creating art with processing, using random can actually create some pretty surprising results. So it's fun when you're just exploring, someone else's sketch or just making some generative art of some kind, just to see what happens. You throw some random in on some different values and just see what happens, because it can be pretty surprising, the results that you get. And of course, let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and, we'll take away the stroke right now too, just to do it. So no stroke, just like that, and we'll run the sketch again. Okay, and I've taken away the black stroke outline on these, okay? And of course, just because we're here, let's go ahead and get rid of this random, and we'll put in mouse X, all right? And run the sketch. Okay, and so now, as you can see, wherever I go, the ellipses are following me around, at least on the X-axis, not on the Y. The Y is still random, okay? And yeah, so there's a little bit of interaction there, and a little demo on how random works, and the different places that you can apply it, just in a really basic way. Size, position, color, and just go ahead and be experimental. Anywhere we find values, go ahead and throw random on there and just see what happens. A lot of surprising results can come out of it. Okay, thanks.